BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top trade. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back, good morning. Patreon live stream tonight if you want to join. Links in the description below. Until then, let's have a brief overview of this market then, shall we? We'll start with the S&P 500, that's right, the pre-market. Moving up to a death cross retest on 4-hourly exponential moving averages. So it was a bit of a dip yesterday and a bounce straight back, which is pretty sweet. Notice Tesla hasn't decided to fade yet. I think it's going to fade, but it hasn't faded yet. This is still a bearish retest from an area, so this is not a reversal sign. I know people want it to be, and it could be, but I don't think it is. We're surrounded by bearish divergence. We're below a 200 exponential after a death cross here and a death cross here. So whether we get rejected on the exponential or the simple, which is 5,150, the chances are we'll get a rejection and we'll get a pullback. We'll move ourselves over to the daily, that complements that as well. 21 exponential moving average is exactly where we are right now, with a view to move up to 5,117. So resistance above us, nothing more than an opportunity to, well, short if you are that way inclined. I'm not for the most part, but I am tempted to begin some shorts, and again, they would only be for very short-term trades, literally, throughout the day. Not looking to hold on to shorts for too long. There's only so far you can take a short, really, so they're not very interesting to hold for very long. With the S&P looking for a main pullback into roughly this area, 4,760, that's not going to make you tons of money, is it, in a short? It'll make you some money if it did it, but that's like a major target and a huge area for potential reversal. So let's not get too overconfident with shorting the market. Really, if anything, what I would be persuading people to do is to monitor the market and look for signs of reversal to buy back. So that's your S&P. Let's have a look at Dixie. Dixie still consolidating on this daily with a very, very strong support down here at 105.3. So this was a bit of a major resistance, really, going back throughout this entire accumulation zone. It's also backed up here by that 20 and 21 exponential. So yeah, it's a bullish chart, and if we're going to keep consolidating into it, we would expect to see a bounce from this area. We don't have any bullish divergence on this daily. If we were to think about taking any sort of long positions on the dollar, we are just looking at it as an overview of what we think the dollar is going to do and the effects that will have on other markets. A little bit of bullish divergence on this last pullback here. So yeah, I mean, I'd say it's ready to go already, but if it wants to pull back further, it can. Right now, the moment we've all been waiting for, crypto, basically Bitcoin, what we're looking at over here. So we had that big pullback yesterday. I say big, I mean, it wasn't enormous, but it was big enough, wasn't it? And where we went down below the support. So we pulled back from the 200 simple moving average down to sort of this nondescript area, really. A 6.5% move, fair enough, and so far we're still down 4% from that target, and we're getting rejected on a variety of different moving averages, but mostly the top of the range here is 65,300. Now we're getting rejected on the 10 exponential. So really, Bitcoin's future, the short-term future, is in the hands of stocks, which I think are about to get rejected this Friday. Again, remember, this is how it looks right now. It is only 9 o'clock in the morning, right? There's a lot of hours left in this trading day. There's so many things that can happen. You don't need to assume that what I say at 9 in the morning remains for the rest of the day. There's validation and invalidation on all of these charts, which is why I urge you to learn to trade rather than sort of get thrown tidbits from me and other YouTubers and Twitter and stuff. Learn it yourself. Learn it yourself. That's what the Patreon's all about, really. So that is the view, that yes, this is a downtrend, and this was rejected on a death cross retest, and so far it's moving down. I expect it to creep down over the weeks, maybe months, to lower lows, and why wouldn't it when you have a setup like this? But validation and invalidation. Currently, the downtrend is validated because we're moving down, moving averages mostly pointing down, moved up to a top target, death cross retest, and going down again. Invalidation of this bearish setup would be closures above this moving average and arguably a retest of it and up. So that would be an invalidation of the bearish projection. I would imagine that that's not what we're going to see. We're more likely to continue down. But if we do see that, then you go, all right, fine. The downtrend is so far less likely than it was before. It's more likely that we go up now. So that's how to interpret this chart and all charts, really. Just remember that. It is only it's not even 9:30, it's 9 o'clock, 1 minute past 9 in the morning. Americans are still fast asleep and they move the market. So what we're looking at here on the daily, again, rejection more or less, a bit messy, but more or less around that 20 moving average. Yeah, it was very neat and tidy on the 4 hourly, not so neat and tidy on the daily, but what we're focusing on here is moving averages pointing down, basically offering nothing more than rejection all the way down. So let's have a look at momentum. Momentum, well, it got close, but then it failed. So there was no positive cross. We're below the 0 point. It does look like it wants to go down. And these areas that we drew in are all valid. So yesterday's target, we could easily see a retest of 63,500. You could then go down to the next level, 61,800. You go down to the next level, 69,000. Or we could see it cascading all the way down to these lower levels, basically around the 50,000 to about 51, 52,000. Again, the main support being that 200 exponential and the 200 simple. They're both increasing with every day that goes by. So the supports, the major supports, are going to each day rise and rise and rise and rise and rise. And so if this takes us into the summer, you'd imagine that the main support is going to be the lower 50,000s rather than potentially even breaching 50,000 at 48,000, which is where the 200 simple is right now. So we'll look at the weekly then, just for a laugh. The weekly's still holding up pretty well. And again, this is why buying the dips are more appropriate than sort of getting too complacent and looking to short the markets and stuff like that. Best thing to do is to hold off and wait, see how far we do go, because this is a bullish chart. The daily is still a bullish chart. The 4 hour is not so bullish, but all the others are still bullish. And what I mean by that is they're bullish until these lower levels get tagged. We're bullish on this chart. This is a very and this would be an epic area to buy from. It's basically sitting at 55,000. It's your 20 weekly moving average, and if we come down lower than that, then fine. Yeah, it's wrecked city, but still opportunity waits, because all the way down to 30,600. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we're going down to those levels, but all the way down there is still bullish. You could buy the dip on any one of these and expect a V-shaped recovery, and that is the truth. This is the absolute truth of it. So we'll sit and watch and wait and ponder and speculate and maybe make a few trades in between as to which general direction this is going to go in. I believe, from what I see right now, that it is going to go down. I believe that that's the case for stocks. I believe that's the case for Bitcoin in general, all of crypto. And so, yeah, I'll make a few shorts here and there. But for the most part, this is the big part of the overall strategy. Allow for the consolidation to materialize. We'll find out what price it wants to go down to. Again, I'm not going to say it's going to hit 50, it's going to hit 30. I don't know where it's going to go. We have to see how strong the downtrend is, or how resilient the chart actually of Bitcoin actually is. At the moment, it's been relatively strong. It's been strong this entire time, and dips are getting bought, not just by you and me, but mostly by the ETFs when it comes to Bitcoin. So the pullbacks have not been anywhere close to how Bitcoin has behaved in the past. 20-30% pullbacks used to be the norm. Now, you get 5 to 10 at best, So we'll see what happens. But based on everything I see, it does look like we are still downtrending. It might take a few weeks to get a lower low, but I think one's coming. But a lot of this is going to be based around the Dixie bouncing from this area. And to be fair, we're close enough to it. It's literally just bouncing now from 105.4, and my rough area is 105.35. So, I'm not saying that my line is the perfect line. There is no perfect line. It's close enough, so that we might be seeing the consolidation on Dixie ending today, and you might start to see the pullback on S&P continue today. No reason why we shouldn't see that. There's an obvious reason why we would. And so if the markets are all tied together, which they are, then you'd expect all markets to come down together, which is what I think they are going to do today. So I think we might be looking for a red Friday. But again, it's only 9:05 in the morning. I haven't even digested my Weetabix. So we'll have to see. Anyway, if you want to join the Patreon, links in the description below, and we can look at whatever chart it is that you want to present to me, or just general questions about trading. But other than that, I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.